I'm sorry. I needed this procedure done weeks ago, and then you guys said you were pushing it back, and now you're not doing it at all? I need a cervical cerclage. 2 weeks ago, when my office called you and told you that they were pushing back the cervical cerclage, there was a miscommunication between me and my office. They were supposed to tell you that I was no longer doing the procedure, not pushing it back. I don't mean to be rude, but I don't really care about the miscommunication or what was supposed to be said to me or anything like that. I'm more concerned about having this done. I have an incompetent cervix and I need this done. When it comes to you having an incompetent cervix, you know where I stood on that since day one. And looking at your pregnancy as it's gone on, looking at your sonograms and your condition and your cervix, it's led me to further believe that you do not have an incompetent cervix. Therefore, this procedure is medically not necessary to do. I respect your medical opinion and your experience. I really do. But I've had doctors tell me I have an incompetent cervix. My water broke early in I lost a baby. And the hospital doctor who delivered that baby told me I had an incompetent cervix. My OBGYN agreed with me. My prior specialist gave me a cerclage because he believed I had incompetent cervix. So like, even if you don't believe it at this point, why can't we just do it? I understand that, and I am terribly sorry you had to go through that. Your water breaking early like that is not a clear indicator of an incompetent cervix. And right now, it's impossible to diagnose you with that. And it's impossible to say that you need a cervical cerclage. Right now, your water's fine. Right now, you're not dilated. I do not see a need to perform this procedure. Therefore, I'm not doing it. It's very disappointing to hear, and frankly, it's frightening for me. You don't understand how much of a nervous wreck I've been in my pregnancy for now you to tell me this. And I just wish you would have told me this weeks ago when I could have looked for a different specialist or traveled somewhere to get this done. But now it's going to be nearly impossible. I don't even think, when am I, too late to do this, right? I know it's an inconvenience. I know it's not what you want to hear, but I did state this weeks ago that I did not believe that you have an incompetent cervix. And again, as I've seen your pregnancy progress here, I'm not comfortable doing this procedure if you don't need it. And these weeks have proven to me that I really don't think that you do. Let me just ask you though, at this point, okay, after everything that happened to me, wouldn't it just be safer to not risk it? I understand you're not comfortable doing it for no reason, but again, why risk it? My experience in dealing with water breaking early, what happened to you was tragic, and I do believe that it was a one-off thing, and I don't think there's any risk involved right now. And really, there's always risk with pregnancy. If you get what I'm saying, there's always a risk. You can't avoid all. Pregnancy is pregnancy, and you can't stop everything from happening. Just out of curiosity, what would it take for you to actually believe that I have incompetent cervix? Like, what is your measurement that would say, okay, she needs this procedure? If something happens in this if your water breaks early in this pregnancy, then I would say that you do have an incompetent cervix, and then next time I would say that the cerclage is mandatory. But as of right now, where we stand today, I do not see it as medically necessary. Okay, so you need to lose a child 2-3 times before you can have a procedure to protect you from your water breaking. Okay, I understand. The crazy thing and the sad thing about this skit is that this happens to a lot of women across the country, and I know this because me and my wife lost a daughter at 20 weeks because my wife's water broke early, and her OBGYN and her specialist said that she needed a cervical cerclage. Her OBGYN was kind of on the fence, but he still said it was better to be safe than sorry. And they did the procedure, and now we have our son. But when my wife was going through it, she spoke to a lot of women in support groups, who went through it as well. And they told her about how, because of where they live and what state they're in, it was hard for them to get the cervical cerclage. And some people denied it to them, even though they lost a child because their water broke early. And it almost seemed like the doctor wanted them to lose a child 2 or 3 more times just so they could be sure of it. Can you imagine that you have to go through it that many times just to be sure? Okay, yeah, now we can do it. Yeah, it's a skit, but it hits home because that just pisses me off, and feel like there needs to be more awareness to that, and there needs to be rules changed because it's just downright ridiculous. All right, I'm done ranting.